Let's be honest for a second. When you're dealing with school administration, you know that few things are as high stakes, stressful, and, let's face it, meticulously scrutinized as bulk student fee billing. I mean, one wrong setting, just one incorrectly mapped data point, and boom, you've got hundreds of incorrect invoices and a lobby completely full of very confused, very unhappy parents. But what if we didn't treat this like some chaotic, terrifying chore? What if instead we approached it like a highly structured, flawless mission control launch sequence? Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are completely demystifying the SAP Business One school fee billing process. We're going to take the source material and build out the absolute ultimate chronological process flow for you. By the end of our time today, you're going to have a rock-solid, step-by-step roadmap to literally conquer SAP billing with total confidence. So let's dive right into it. To keep us perfectly on track, we're treating this like a launch and breaking the mission down into 4 distinct phases. We've got 1. Pre-flight checks, 2. Boarding the crew, 3. The launch, and finally, 4. Splashdown. Okay, kicking things off with phase 1, pre-flight checks, setting up billing templates. Now, a successful billing cycle relies completely on your baseline fee structures, right? Before we even think about touching actual student data, we have to build our blueprints. So there are 3 critical steps here. First, you create the template in the inventory master data. Second, you set your details in the sales quotation module. And third, you enter the line items and add the document. It sounds simple on the surface, but you know the drill. The devil is absolutely in the details. For instance, when you're inside the inventory master data screen, you really need to pay attention to those checkboxes on the right. Notice how the sales, purchase, and inventory item options are specifically left unchecked. This is super critical, and honestly, it gets missed all the time. Remember, this isn't a physical textbook sitting in a warehouse somewhere. It's a structural template being used purely for billing logic. Okay, so once that template is built, we've got to link it up to the system's billing mechanism. When you navigate over to the Sales AR module, you'll enter L billing as our customer code. Then, just use that little magnifying glass icon to assign the specific template code we literally just created, something like T_SEC_SC_SS. It's a brilliant way to see exactly how SAP connects a generic billing run to your precise fee format. Moving right along to phase 2, boarding the crew, importing student master data. So now we transition from all that structural setup to actually bringing our students on board for the cycle. You'll navigate through the business partner menus to import students' data, which pops up a new window. From there, you just browse your local network for your freshly updated spreadsheet. In our example here, that's the Student Master 2025 worksheet. Now here is the absolutely crucial fork in the road. What happens right after you select that file? Well, the system runs a massive validation check. You are desperately crossing your fingers looking for valid equals yes. If you see that, amazing, it's smooth sailing. But if you see valid equals N, hit the brakes immediately. Seriously, do not try to force it. Check the error details, go back and fix the broken rows in Excel, and then re-import. This right here is your ultimate defense against corrupted data. When you navigate that rigorous validation successfully, you get rewarded with that beautiful student data imported confirmation message. Behind the scenes, the system is cleverly relying on admission numbers and debtor codes as unique identifiers. That ensures every single update applies to the exact right student, without creating any of those disastrous duplicates. All right, phase 3, the launch, generating the school bills. So, our templates are perfectly set. Our students are safely boarded into the system. Now we're at your command center, the Generate School Billing configuration window. You start by creating a new run code right at the top. And what's really wonderfully efficient about SAP here is that this run code automatically populates into the invoice description later on, which is going to save you a massive amount of manual repetitive data entry. Just make sure your branch is set correctly, secondary or primary, and you're ready to set the timeline. Speaking of the timeline, there are 3 absolutely crucial launch dates you have to input here. First up is the posting date. That's for your accounting records. Second is the document date, which is what actually prints on the physical paperwork. But that third date, wow, that one requires our absolute, undivided attention. I'm not kidding. The source materials literally flag this with a warning. We need to treat the Jira collection date with a total red alert mentality. If you input the wrong Jira date here, your digital file is likely going to get rejected at the bank. Or, significantly worse, you'll attempt to pull funds from hundreds of parents' bank accounts on the completely wrong day. So yeah, Absolute, unrelenting precision is required for this specific field. As we finalize these launch parameters, we basically have to tell the system where to file everything. Thankfully, the underlying naming logic is super simple, so you never have to guess. If you're billing in 2025, your sales order series is simply SO25, and your invoices are ARINV25. Billing next year, you just step the numbers up to 26. Easy, right? But hey, what if you push the button, the progress bar loads, and you suddenly realize you've made a massive mistake? Look, don't panic. Course correction is built right into the methodology. If a major error happened across the whole batch, you just use cancel-generated documents to execute a bulk abort. Or if it's just one specific student's file, you can easily go in and manually cancel their individual sales order. Mistakes caught at this raw sales order stage are completely and easily reversible before you process anything further. Assuming our run was flawless and verified, we execute the final steps of the launch sequence. We're going to access the document generation wizard. We carefully select our newly generated batch of sales orders. And with just a few quick clicks through the wizard, we systematically convert those raw orders into official, legally binding billing invoices. The bills are officially in flight.
Which brings us to Phase 4, Splashdown, processing bank files and payments.
Because generating the bills is really only half the battle. Closing out the mission means actually processing the bank files. To generate the precise digital file your bank demands, you navigate to the bank interface menu and enter the exact technical parameters. You'll set the transaction to incoming payment, choose your originating bank, set the format like SP for OCBC, for example, and then perfectly match the transaction date to that critical Giro collection date we were stressing over earlier. Once you actually have the processed file back from the bank, we navigate over to Generate Customer Payment. Here, you'll input your run dates, verify that your receipt series matches your current year, like RC25 for 2025, and then actually attach the specific success file you got back from the bank. You click Execute, and you get to watch as the system brilliantly processes the Giro file, automatically creating receipts for all those successful incoming payments in one massive, satisfying sweep. Before we completely wrap up, I want to share a highly valuable pro tip drawn directly from the training materials. After the main automated run is totally finished, navigate over to Document Printing under the Sales module. By simply ticking the Open Only filter, you can instantly generate a super precise view of any outstanding invoices that weren't collected in the bulk Giro run. It is hands down the absolute easiest way to track your remaining balances without doing any manual cross-referencing. And just like that, the mission is complete. You've successfully navigated the pre-flight checks, you securely boarded your data, flawlessly launched your billing generation, and collected the funds safely at Splashdown. So, now that you've mastered the ultimate SAP billing launch sequence, what massive administrative bottleneck are you going to conquer next? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep organizing, and I'll catch you next time.